Alrighty. So I've come across news that the CEO of Sony has blamed critics for the failure of the Sonyverse films, which includes Venom, Morbius, Madam Web, and lately Craven the Hunter. And I have to disagree because if these movies didn't do well at all, that has nothing to do with the critics because, critics are going to criticize a movie, especially if it is a poorly written film. Now, most of these movies I've seen, I've had no problem with them, except for the fact that they could have been written better. And most importantly, since you have these characters that I just mentioned that come from Spider-Man's universe, how are you going to make movies based on Spider-Man characters by turning them into heroes or anti-heroes, especially characters who are Spider-Man villains? In writing these movies, you don't have Spider-Man in them. Now, The Penguin, which is currently streaming on Max, is a great example of you can have a series about a Batman villain without having Batman in it, but still keeping that character as a villain and not turning them into a anti-hero or a sympathetic character, all right? And that's exactly what, in my opinion, could have been done with the characters in the Sonyverse. And what do I always keep saying over and over again? That one thing I always keep saying, one of the main reasons as to why this universe failed is because you have what I love to call failing an open book test. You have the source material. Said source material from the comic books could have been used to illustrate and flesh out these characters more. And the scripts written for these films could have been way better. That way, the critics and everyone and their mama with a social media account would not be roasting the hell out of these movies. And finally, another thing as to why these movies didn't work is because so much time and attention was focused on making a separate universe instead of giving Andrew Garfield a third Amazing Spider-Man film that he deserved. So there's that. I mean, Andrew Garfield himself said he would come back if the script was right. And apparently, by failing an open book test, not only did Sony fail these characters, they also failed Andrew Garfield, and they also failed us, the fans, as well. Just my thoughts, just my opinion, and as always, just saying.